What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Ship Across the Border. My name's Max. I'm here with my friend Chris, and and today we have on one of our boys, Daesean.
Ashley.
Daesean Ashley.
Oh, it's like for like speaking better and shit?
No.
So why'd you say for the podcast?
Bacon's not real, and neither are now.
No, bacon's not real, because if you go to a grocery store, there's too much bacon.
Keep working, your time will come.
It sounds like you're eating human bones.
It's a mini.
It sounds like you're eating hamster bones.
It might be stupid, but is India in the Middle East? I don't think so. Is it?
Damn.
What?
So-
Which is the name?
Yeah, starting early. Okay.
All right. So, Day, we have a lot of some more meaningful stuff we're gonna get into later in the episode. But before, I want to give the audience a little bit of a background on you. So, like, you're from Buffalo, been here your whole life. Talk a little about your high school basketball career, what you did before coming to Madai, just a little bit about Buffalo basketball in general. About your experiences.
Right, so, like, obviously, I've loved the game since, like...
You don't need to look into the camera, also.
All right, cool.
It's just a convo. It's just there.
So, basically, started off as anybody else would. I've had a ball in my hand since I was a baby. I mean, I started off playing, like, little youth leagues, and I would dominate those. Like, I have clips on those, but those didn't
We'll
really
put those,
mean anything.
insert. Sorry,
we could
Chris, but
I got it.
we'll insert those clips here. We'll insert 9-year-old Day busting you ass in the fucking rec leagues.
Got bad.
It's on
got
YouTube?
bad. Yeah.
Okay.
Looking like
Mixtape.
mini Derrick Rose. It's like,
Look like mini Fred VanVleet.
But nah, yeah, so like I did that and that was cool for a while, but like obviously like my parents saw potential in me, so they kind of wanted me to take it further. So I guess that's where I got into like AAU and stuff like that. So I started off AAU. There's a team called the Unit, which was by like, there's a guy, Noah Hutchins, like his dad ran it. He played at Rice. He played at IMG.
Rice D1, no?
Rice is D1, yeah.
They're good at academic school, actually.
Yeah, so he was like one of the best players around here, like first team all West New York, man. He's just one of those guys. And his dad was actually the program director. So like when I was younger, I ended up started playing for him. And there I met like my coach, my AAU coach for real. His name is Carlos Bradbury. He coaches at Niagara Falls
James'
High School
uncle?
now. Nah. But yeah, he coaches at NFHS right now, and they actually just lost. I think it was the state semifinal, something like that.
They're tough? Niagara?
Niagara Falls is super tough.
Like better than like Canisius, like Joe's, like they're...
Like, they beat Joe's this year. I'm pretty sure if they played Canisius, I think they beat them. But
Really, they're tough.
they're tough. They
I
had a
know
guy,
that.
James Robinson, like he's one of our recruits too. But yeah.
From Madai?
Yeah,
Really?
but he's really good, athletic.
Yeah? He's committed here?
No, just a recruit. But yeah, so
Shout out
like,
James.
Yeah,
Come on the show.
Fucking on the download, Jesus.
Might have to cut that, but we'll see.
yeah. So then, basically, it was just I started playing for them, and my AU team. There was this guy. So Carlos had a son, Jalen, and Jalen's one of my best friends today. He's 2,000-point scorer in high school in Western New York. He played at a couple schools here. He's a year, he reclassed, so he's a year below me. So he's still looking, trying to get. He's
in
at
high
a
school?
trip now.
He's
in
where?
Triple C,
Okay.
JUCO,
Yeah.
and they're one of the best
Yeah.
JUCO team. They just lost in like semifinals of nationals for the whole like Division II JUCO. So that's cool. But yeah, so I started playing with them, and like we started building a bond, and we just played together for so long. So like we played in like a bunch of tournaments. Like once we were young, we started going Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, basically like the whole East Coast. And like that was cool and all. We won a lot, learned a lot. I probably lost like less than 10 games over like a cool 3 summers. Like it was really cool. Like I made some great bonds. Like to this day, those are some of my brothers. Like even the team people that play there, like we play St. John Fisher.
Yeah.
Eric, number 10, the
Oh,
lefty.
yeah.
He was on my team. He's one of my best friends. Known him all my life. Like we were pretty good. So basically that was it. Then So then I kind of got into like middle school area. We were good. Like there was a point in time like we were doing showcases. Like I was ranked like top 3 at a showcase once. Like I was having a really good year. Like and then like as I got into middle school, 8th grade, I started playing JV at Amherst High School. That was a good.
With Jeff?
school.
Jeffrey?
Jeff was on the modified middle school team.
Damn, shout out Jeff. I feel like we bring up Jeff every single podcast.
We
but
need
he
him
never,
in here.
but he never wants to
Goofy
come on.
bastard.
Bro, Jeff is my man. Jeff's one of the greatest people I ever met, man.
But
Can you convince him to come on the podcast?
He canceled on us 15 minutes before the episode when we were supposed to do it with him.
And now he just won't. He won't come on.
Jeff's an interesting character.
Jeff would be a great to have on the show.
I'm down whenever.
The myth of Jeff. Maybe instead of having Jeff on the show, we just create the myth of Jeff.
We just talk about him for
We just
45
talk
minutes.
about him. We just keep talking about him every episode.
What if he's that requested? Do you think he'd come on?
Yeah, probably.
I feel
Jeff
like this
is
is
the
a
man.
terrible
Jeff is
fucking
the man.
angle for me to be talking into, but fuck it.
I feel like the mics are set up weirdly today.
I don't know, but
So 8th grade I played JV. That was a great experience. Like obviously getting my feet wet on like high school level. That end of that JV year, I got moved up to the varsity team.
In 8th grade.
8th grade, yeah. But I wasn't allowed to play though because of like I think it was too many players on the team. We didn't have enough jerseys, so I just was like there practicing.
On some Chris shit.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. You mean in the same position, bro? Like exact same position.
I'm playing with you. Continue.
But nah, yeah. So I got moved up. That was cool. Started being around the varsity guys. Like I think that's where like I really started to take off because like being around people that are 4 or 5 years older than you. Obviously, you're gonna get better playing with them. But like, nah, that was great. Like I gained like cool relationships with older people that were just teaching me. They're kind of like showing me everything.
Probably like the man of high school.
Man, I had fun in high school. Definitely had fun in high school.
Going in 8th grade, being on varsity.
Yeah, that was tough.
That's not even an option in Canada, is it? Like you can't do that.
Dude, you're not even out of high school in 8th grade.
No, I know, but like,
Right.
yeah, you know those super schools where you can go from like grade?
Yeah.
I don't even know if you can do it in those.
In
Like, you can't even do it in a lot of places here.
In Canada, you can't even be on varsity in 10th grade at a
That's
lot
not
of
true.
places.
I knew somebody who did
Maybe
that.
at a small school, but I went to a really big like public school,
Mhm.
and like you had to play. So I had to play
JV.
JV as a sophomore. Yeah, even though like I could have played, and like there were definitely people before me who I wasn't really that good at a sophomore. So like I probably could have been on varsity, but like I probably wouldn't have played. But there are people who would have been solid pieces of varsity, but had to play
Had to play.
JV.
Right.
Just because basketball, like at least where I like, it wasn't like taken as seriously.
That's a fact.
So it's just like, oh well, these guys only have 1 year left of playing basketball before they go to college and like whatever, start the real life or whatever. So let's just like, why would we let a 13-year-old take their spot?
I feel like that kind of puts you at a disadvantage, though. Like,
100%, but they don't really care about winning like that.
that's right.
That's why you play the schools that we play, like Thornley, or like a dude on A&M went, like a ton of these good ass schools
Like,
who have high programs.
What's that one school?
Oh, not Orangeville. We didn't know. They're in a separate league.
Orangeville?
We played Vaughan Secondary, who's in that league now. Who Andrew Wiggins went there. Ryan Nemhard, who played for Creighton.
Yeah, I
And-
played against Nempard a couple times.
Yeah, he's tough.
He's
I played him when I was really, really little. Shout out Creighton. They had a good ass run. Fucking did well for my bracket. I mean, I got fucked in the end by fucking Alabama. I had a dream that Alabama was gonna lose. I talked to
I knew
coach.
Alabama was gonna
I
win
talked to coach that
at
day
some point.
about it. I'm like, I had a dream they're gonna lose. I need them to win. He's like, no, there's no way they lost, and they lost.
It's so weird though, because I love Alabama. Like I love Javon Quinterly. Like
Yeah,
He's tough.
he was at Villanova.
yeah, he
I've followed
was.
since high school.
I
He's-
followed him
yeah,
since seeing Catholic. I remember that. Man.
yeah, tough.
You ever seen him on Devin in the Lab, like 10,000 hours?
Huh?
Like
yeah,
10
yeah,
He was tough as fuck in there.
yeah.
He was running ones against D1 dudes. Just
This is the first time we brought up a college player or a basketball player. You know who we're talking about?
yep, very close. We definitely brought up some, but like this one for sure.
a college,
I actually used to like watch Javon Quinterly in
He
fucking
has a
high school.
Duffy.
Hezzy, leg,
bro. The
every-
fucking high pickup.
He has a fucking duffel.
The high pickup is
He's
so.
tough. Yeah. in another league?
Yes.
But that's what I love about like New York basketball. Like we have like a special like.
He went to school in New York. Like,
Oh, he was Jersey, like Jersey, New York.
okay, yeah,
right?
yeah. That's what I never said. Yeah,
Interchangeable.
yeah.
So it's like our style of play is different. Like I feel like New York, like we're shifty guards. Like you kind of gotta be like we don't have a lot of big athletic guys. Like obviously you go down Florida and stuff. Like there's big 6'5" wings dunking everything by the time they're 15. But like yeah, now we're different here. Like we,
Yeah. I saw a video of
Yeah,
Lonnie
but-
Walker. Said he got his first in-game dunk in 6th grade.
I
That's
believe it.
retarded.
He's in the league.
Dude,
You,
I
you know how that is?
He wasn't on the Spurs.
He had that crazy hair and then like cut it off. He had like ridiculous
Like it was really long.
it was like dreads, like
Who do you play
ridiculous.
for?
It was freeform locks. Yeah.
He plays now for the Lakers. He played for the
Lakers, yeah.
Spurs. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think I know what
Number
you're talking
4
about.
for the
He,
Lakers.
so he said it after every single day. His dad made him do 300 to 600
Calf
box
raises?
jumps,
Oh, box jumps.
and other parents like threatened to like call child services.
Really?
And he was like, and Lonnie Walker, as like a fucking 9-year-old, was like, "Yeah, call child services. I'm dying over here."
Bro.
And his dad was just like posted up saying like, "You're gonna thank me later." I just watched this on my For You page today.
That's
Now he's
fucking
rich.
hilarious.
And then he ended up being able to throw down dunks in 6th grade. How old are you 6th grade? Literally like 12.
12.
That's so fucking retarded, bro.
Nah, that's
Insane.
That's a
actually
child prodigy. Have you ever met like a child prodigy and
Oh,
like
yeah.
watched them in person?
Like, I'm trying to think of
Um,
like child prodigy. Like, who would I think?
A lot of
Like even if they
people,
fell off.
I know
Right,
like
yeah.
hockey players.
Yes, bro. I've watched multiple motherfuckers who were dancing circles around kids at like age 6 or playing against
Yeah. One
of my-
12-year-olds.
some-
There's
Someone-
a lot of. I feel like there's a lot of people though. Like,
Someone who I went to high school with played on this. You probably haven't heard of this, but you probably have. It was a team called like the 2003 Don Mill Flyers, and they didn't lose for 3 years. Their best player,
what level was this?
like the highest level.
Damn.
Their best. Listen to this. So
So is this high school though?
yeah,
Did you
it
put
was like
AAA?
early high school.
AAA?
Yeah.
Okay.
They didn't lose for 3 years or something like
That's
that.
kind of like travel. It's like a
Right, it's club. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people. Had
Their
joked
best
about
player is Shane Wright, who's on the
no
Canadians.
fucking way. My boy played against Shane Wright.
Their best player, their second best player is basically they had like the 3rd, 7th, and 11th draft pick, and they had like 5 players who go to the league.
That's right, because at their club you can just declare for the draft.
Yeah, you go to
Oh,
OH.
gotta
So
go college.
but as a younger kid, like he was like I don't know if it was a project, but he was fucking on that team and like doing like he was on television. I watched him play on television in like sophomore year.
I mean, like one person I think that comes to mind when I think like child prodigies, like Greg Dolan. Like I don't know if you
I
heard
don't know
Coach. Like so, Coach and like from his coaching roots, they're really close with Greg Dolan. Like Greg Dolan was probably one of those. Like he was good at every sport he touched. Like so now he's at Cornell, but like he's
for
basketball.
hoops, is he?
He had like really good year. Like this year he entered. I think this is his graduate year, so he entered the transfer portal and like now he has
Gonna
like,
go high major, yeah.
yeah he's got offers.
I played against. I went
Penn
to.
State.
Yeah, that's crazy. I went to Yale camp, like Yale's like elite camp.
Yeah.
Just
I went
because
to
there's a ton of like
Iowa's, yeah.
you went to the Yale elite camp in like
I went
or
to
one of them.
I went to like a bunch of Ivy ones. I remember
Yeah.
going to Columbia, I believe,
I went to Brown in
and
Rhode Island.
American University too.
Yeah, so because I knew there was a lot of like high academic D3s there. That's what I
Yeah.
was looking to, and one kid who now played for Cornell this year, in a one-on-one tournament, hit a 6'5" dude with a pump fake, one dribble, and dunked on this athletic 6'5" dude. I'm like, all right, this guy's different. That's the first thing I think when I think of Cornell is just fucking. He played for Phillips Exeter,
Yeah.
and I don't know his name, but all I remember is like actual chest to chest, like on this like 6'5", really like
very
lanky athletic dude. And he probably got offered right then and there.
Nah, probably. But yeah, like probably closest person I saw was him. Like Greg Dolan. Like now, like I remember working out with him last summer. Like I've worked out with him a lot. But then we were playing 1-on-1, and even Jamond, who I brought today.
Mhm.
So like we were playing 1-on-1. I'm telling you, like NBA, like we didn't touch the ball for like a cool 10 minutes, and he was just shooting all jump shots. Like it was crazy. But like yeah, that's definitely one of those child prodigies I probably saw.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But so yeah, like I'll say. So yeah, 8th grade I had a JV year. So then my freshman year, so like 8th grade I had a really good summer too. Like I kept playing AAU, kept traveling and stuff. It was cool. Like so then high school is kind of where like things like got a little weird. Like freshman year I had like on varsity, that was my first year like actually playing on varsity. I had like a really good year. I think I was averaging like 17 and 5 or something.
As a
like
freshman on varsity at Amherst.
That. Actually, that was my sophomore year. I averaged 17. Freshman year I probably averaged like 10, and then
At which
5.
at Amherst.
Yeah, I was 6 man.
Where was Jeff when you were in varsity? Or
Freshman year, he's a year younger than me, so I think he might have been playing JV.
okay.
So yeah, but Jeff was
We
definitely.
got to keep Jeff along for this journey as well. Like so after every year, I want to hear where Jeff is.
Yeah. So fucking there. So basically that. So my freshman year was good. Like I won Western New York 6th Player of the Year by center court. Like that was cool. It was a great year. Like we won, made it to sectionals I believe, and then we lost. So Buff State, we played at Buff State for sectionals. We ended up losing to.
That's tough.
I'm trying to think of who it was. We beat Olean. Olean was really good. They had like a 2,000 win coach in high school.
Playing at a college gym in high school is sick.
Oh, you actually know who played on that Olean team? Mike Schmidt.
Oh,
Damn.
Alfred.
Played Alfred,
Mhm,
yeah.
yeah.
So
55.
and they had like, they were a good team, but like they had mad shooters. Like They play exactly like
Alfred.
Alfred does now.
That's funny as fuck.
It's weird. Yeah. So then I don't think we ended up beating Olean like by 2, I think. And then we ended up losing. I'm not sure. So then we played South Park after that. In South Park, I remember taking like freshman year, I was taking the game-winning shot. I'm not gonna lie, I was scared as everything. But like, I remember driving, shooting a floater, and I ended up just missing. But like the way it bounced right into our big man's hands, so we ended up winning the whole game. So it was kind of like,
That's a dime.
I'm glad I shot it. Yeah, like, we won. And we were definitely like, we were up those games. You know, like those games where you're up, but then in the second half, you feel the team creeping.
Yeah,
so it's
that's
like,
the worst.
that's
Boy, do we
worst,
ever.
bro.
Yeah, boy, the first thing I think about is the Buff State game. When you just said
To
that.
be honest, we're usually the team that's down for being.
Yeah, I
honest.
wasn't
That starts
eligible during
creeping.
that. Watching that was painful. I was like, I wish I could do
I watched
something.
that back because I was finding film for some mixtapes for some people, and holy fuck, dude, it was brutal. It was like brick. Both teams didn't score for dead ass 5 minutes.
Free throw, brick.
Yes.
Brick. That was
That was some
That was
brutal
bad.
basketball. That was very bad basketball.
So yeah, I ended up hitting that shot. I really don't know what team I lost to, but I ended up losing. Like, I think it was the sectional final. Like, we had a really good team. We ended up coming short, of course. So then I played AAU. Who did I play AAU for that year? I want to say I played probably 14s or 15s for CGE, which is like a circuit team around here now. They're actually doing really good nowadays. They play on the Under Armour circuit. That was really cool too, like playing in best players. I remember going. That's actually where I met Javon Quinterly. I actually got a picture with him. It's pretty
That's
cool.
tough.
I'll show you guys. But like, I met him at the Under Armour finals in Atlanta, Georgia. I ended up
You guys
meeting
get
a
like
couple
shoes and gear and shit like
guys.
that.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Damn.
tough. What's the team called again?
CG Choreogram Elite. There's like a football player, NFL player. He played for the Eagles from Buffalo named Corey Graham. And he sponsored the team. He's Super Bowl champion with the Eagles.
Is it still a team now?
Yeah, it's still a team.
Like a-
now.
like a
Now
circuit
they're like, yeah, they're in the Rise circuit of Under Armour.
Yeah.
So like they're constantly playing, like they have the best kids around, stuff like that. So like it's a really good program. So basically, yeah, like that was cool seeing like those guys. Like I feel like that was like one of those steps. Like this is what like really good basketball looks like. Like, this is top players, top everything. Like I remember we played like a Houston Defenders team. Like that's one of the top UAA teams. Like, they ended up beating everybody. I think we beat them, beat a couple teams. Like we were good. Like, and this was a team like we didn't even really play together along. It was kind of just like thrown together, trying out Under Armour, go win. Like, and we didn't do that bad. Like you know what I'm saying, but so that was cool. My sophomore year, this is the year I averaged like 17, 5 and 5. I think that was like team wise, it wasn't a really good year, but like for me, it was a pretty good year. Made I think honorable mention all Western New York there. And like that was a really learning experience though too, because like being so young, I wasn't really like used to losing, kind of. So like it was like I'd kind of be a baby about things and like let me get in my head. Like I wasn't really used to it. I'd kind of be like, like damn, like my teammates, like just stuff I couldn't control, like that I didn't have to worry about. I shouldn't be worrying about.
Mm-hmm.
And so like after that, I transferred, and actually it's funny, like when I transferred, it was like I really had no plan on going, but we had that like kind of bad year, and one of my friends that I told you about that was coaching my team, Jalen Bradbury, the 2,000-point scorer,
Mm-hmm.
he called me and he was like, because the coach of Joe's now, Gabe Michael, like one of my closest people I know, like one of my best mentors, still to this day. He switched over from Will South, where he had Greg Dolan, that player that plays for Cornell. So he switched to St. Joe's. And so my friend Jalen told me, like, he was like, hey, I'm looking to transfer. You saw Gabe got the job. Like, let's go. And I was like, okay. I mean, St. Joe's is like one of the best schools. It was actually ranked number one.
Yeah,
Number one, yeah, we're the best.
that's very tough.
Number one school in Western New York. So I was like, it's an opportunity. I'm going to take it. Obviously, like, I feel like going into it was more of a thing, like, I didn't really have, like, I obviously had friends, but, like, I felt like my friends, like, really weren't, like, my friends. Like, I was always with older people, so it's kind of like once they left, I was kind of,
Yeah, I know you.
yeah, so, like, it was just weird, and I don't know, I didn't really, like, fit in. I didn't feel like I belonged, and, like, to this day, like, I'll look back and I'll be like, maybe I was just in my head, probably was, like, always, but, yeah, I was just like, I'm gonna transfer. So I transferred, and I think that's really like what started like my mental health, like for me, like obviously like when I was younger, like my parents getting divorced was obviously like a big toll on me. So like, that kind of messed me up too. Like that obviously like not having both parents now is obviously different, like especially if you're used to it.
Mhm.
So like that was kind of weird, and I feel like that messed me up a little bit mentally. But then my junior year, like I went from a place where I didn't fit it, like I didn't think I fit in, and I really didn't fit in at Joe's. Like it's basically just hockey players,
Yeah.
like basketball at the time, like before back in the day they were state champs. Then they went through like a 10-year period of just being bad. So then like opening that coach, like that was the beginning of a new chapter. So I was like, we're gonna start a new chapter kind of thing. Like so like Joe's was cool. My junior year I was really depressed. I probably gained a couple pounds, like, and so my junior year I was always hurt. Like I had like this really bad hip flexor injury, and like I think like I tore it. And so I was just playing through it though, like at the time, and I was just like, you only get 4 years of high school. Like there's no way I'm gonna sit out. Like so throughout the whole summer I was working out through it every day. Just like it is what it is type of thing. Then as I got into the like season, it ended up getting worse and worse. But I ended up playing through it. So like we had a really good, well, I wouldn't say really good year, but we had like a good year. Like before they had like losing seasons, last place in their league, the MMA. My year, we went there, we made the playoffs. We ended up losing to Park School, which had like Noah, the kid Noah Hutchins that played at Rice. And so they were really good. Like, they had a bunch of people. Like, they were like, I don't know if they made the state championship, but they're pretty close probably. And so, like, we ended up losing off a buzzer beater to them. So that was another, like, learning lesson. And I was just kind of like, all right, damn, like, got to give me one. So then, like, senior year, my thing was just basically kind of get healthy, try to get better, and, like, do it again. So then my senior year, we actually had, like, 2 other people come in. Like, one of them plays at Daesean now, and then one of them just was a walk-on at UB.
Damn.
Yeah, he's really good, Jaden Slaughter and Josh Haskell. So, like, when they came, there was another, like, more hype. Like, they were, like, we were, like, basically, like, damn, like, we're stacked. So, like, that was cool. Like, we're going into that summer, like, getting to know them and stuff. So then my senior year, that was a good year. We won, like, I think it was, like, 20-3 or something crazy. I don't know if it's like that, but we played really good. And so that year we ended up losing in like our conference finals against Canisius, which is the team that had the kid Eric and stuff. And they had a really kid, one of my best friends, Mook, that he played at Iowa Western, which is like one of the top JUCOs in the country in the Midwest. Now he plays in the Midwest. I think he plays for Maryville University. It's D2. So like it was a good team, good players. We ended up losing to them, and so that was kind of disappointing.
The state like how much before the state playoffs?
What do you mean?
Like, did you go to state championship, or
so?
How close were you before you lost to them?
Oh, like 1 game off. So yeah, like basically they do like Catholic school leagues. So like there's the A division and there's B division. The B teams play the B teams, and then the A teams. So they send like the winner of that team goes to the state's Catholic semifinals or whatever. Then the state finals. So like that was that. And so we lost like right before states, basically. And so senior year, like obviously I had Madai looking at me. I had St. John Fisher looking at me. They came to a couple of my games. So basically I was like looking like a D3 guy. But I didn't really like necessarily want to go D3 because I don't know. Looking back at it, I looked at it as like, I look at it totally different now. Like now, like I've always known that if you could play, you could play. It doesn't matter where you go. But like I kind of always had a thing like I was like setting myself short by not trying to at least play above. Like, cause like
I mean, yeah.
So like I was like a little hesitant. So then after high school, that was COVID year too. So like even if we did win, it wouldn't have counted because seasons ended up getting canceled anyway. So it was like COVID started, and I feel like that's really like it was weird. Like COVID was weird. Like I didn't really know what to do. Like I didn't really find my spot. Like being quarantined obviously sucked. So like it was kind of like what do I do now that I can't play basketball? And I feel like I was stuck for like a really long time. Like I was just trying a lot of different things. Like I ended up, I was really into investing. Like COVID like year, like because that's when like obviously stocks were pumped up and everything. Like I ended up making like 10K like in profit.
Wow.
God damn.
What stock did you invest into?
There was a lot of like I did stocks and crypto. Like Dogecoin, I probably made like a cool 5 to 7K on, and like I was dumping that to my friends. Like I was telling everybody to invest in it.
Definitely a good use of time.
That's kind of what I did in
during
COVID too.
quarantine.
Like I started investing heavy once COVID
Heavy,
hit.
bro. Like because then you hit 8.
Not that heavy, but like heavy for me.
And so, like, I learned, obviously, a lot through that. So I was just kind of, like, obviously, I had money coming in. So I was like, I don't really need basketball. But so then as we got out of COVID, I was obviously stuck. Like, there was, like, a stalemate period of time where, like, nothing was going on for me recruiting-wise. And so, like, I didn't really reach out to Medaille or St. John Fisher or any of the schools that wanted me. And so I was just kind of stuck. But then I enrolled, like my plan was to, after high school, I chose to go to Niagara University, which is in like a low D1
Yeah.
in Niagara Falls. So like I can't remember how I reached out, but I ended up reaching out about a walk-on position. And basically they told me like, we're going to give you a shot, da-da-da-da, we'll see what happens kind of thing. And so like I was cool with that. I was like, all right, as long as I get a try, my foot in the door, like I'll make something happen of it. So then like as like the school year started, it was COVID, so everything was weird. And so basically like they ended up telling me because of COVID, we're only allowed a certain number of roster spots. So I wasn't even gonna be able to try out or anything. So like I feel like that was like probably what really killed me like inside, like just knowing that like I've worked so hard for this. I spent every day in the gym since like 4th grade, 5th grade. Like I remember just endless nights staying in the gym, and it just felt like I was a failure, like kind of thing. So like I ended up doing like, really bad in school. Like it was just like a bad period of time for me. And I started getting really depressed and stuff again, and it just felt like I was trapped. Like I didn't know what to do. I was stuck. So then basically I did NU for a year, and then I was like, all right, I'm not playing basketball. There's no way I'm spending $40,000 a year to go to school. I think it was more than that. It's more than here, like way more, because it's a private university and stuff too. So I was just like, there's no way. So then I ended up reaching out to NCCC, Billy Beeline, my guy, and he ended up saying like, yeah, like, come on over here, because like he was recruiting me out of high school too. And he ended up, he's like, yeah, like, I'm here for you, like, I got you, kind of thing. So then, this was 2021. So 2021, I spent, like, the summer with them, and then, like, the first maybe, like, couple weeks, and I was just, like, in such a spot where I was, like, I don't know, I don't really know if I want to do this, like, every time I felt like I stepped on the court, like, it was totally different. Like, I started to let, like, anxiety and, like, depression like really get to me.
We definitely talked about this on the show.
Yeah, so it'd be like, what am I doing? Like,
yeah.
So it was like I was going to practice. I was driving like 30 minutes every day. Go 7 a.m. lifts, practice, like staying throughout the school day, going to practice, and I was just like, I don't feel like I'm in the right spots where I can like maximize like my potential like right now in my life. Mm-hmm. So I kind of just like I was just like, Coach, like honestly, like I'm dealing with stuff like. And he, like, talked it through me, like, to this day, like, I respect him for it so much because, like, I told him how I was feeling, like, and I didn't really, like, that's, like, one thing I never was able to tell anybody, like, how I was feeling. And I feel like that built up over time to a point where, like, it's too much to handle, especially as, like, a teenager going through things. So, like, that's when, like, stuff just really started going bad for me. And I told him about it, and he was so understanding, and, like, he was just, like, he totally kept the decision on me. But at the same time, like, he always pushed that I kept trying. Like, it just got to a point where I was just like, I don't know. Like, I just need to figure this out. So, like, obviously he respected my decision, and, like, we're still good to this day and everything. So I just kind of, like, sat, waited, like, evaluated my options. And I remember I ended up hitting up Coach Hack and was like, basically, like, I'm interested type of thing. And he told me to come, and ever since then, like, I'm here. Okay.
So, how many years when did you graduate high school?
2020.
What did I?
2020.
So you're technically this year, like, if you went to right after high school, you'd be a junior.
Junior, yeah.
So you're 21, 22?
I'm 20. I turn 21 next month.
Okay. Okay.
So you have a year on me.
He's older than us by
A year for me.
Yeah, but we also are old freshmen.
Yes, very
We
much
came
so.
in a year. I don't know. I did.
Oh, because Canada is different, though.
Because you're in 03, right?
Yeah. So is Mac. So is James. We have
What?
James 03 too, and
I
so is
didn't know
Mac.
that.
Only
What do you
Zion.
think he was?
I thought
Zion.
James was a year younger than me.
Oh,
Zion
04?
Joe are 04s, and then we're all three of us are 03s.
Mhm.
I Canada is different. It's like
I remember,
Next.
like, don't you get like an extra year,
Yeah,
kind of?
it's a victory lap, fifth
Kind
year,
of,
whatever.
fifth year.
They call it victory lap. So if you're not an athlete, it's basically like you just go back to school and fuck around. But if you're an athlete, you can go back, play sports, try and get scholarships, that kind of shit.
So
But
what
I
if you
went-
don't want to do it? You still got to
just-
do
No,
it?
you don't
can
have to.
bounce.
You
It's
can
just an
just-
option. It's just an
optional.
option.
Okay.
or like you want to improve your grades because you don't have like some
Right,
first
to get into a better school.
yeah
That's
for your
actually
program.
cool, though.
It's like an option. I left my junior year to go to the U.S. So I just did two. I kind of reclassified, but also I needed 2 years to graduate from a
Right,
different,
right.
completely different school system and like all the necessary credits.
To get your credits, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm a year older.
I remember I actually was in Canada a lot, like AAU wise. I remember like
we talked about that a little bit.
Yeah, I remember winning like the Canadian National Tournament, Invitational Tournament. is what
CNIT?
it's called. Yeah, that. And it was
That's a good tournament.
No
yeah.
idea.
Who runs that?
I don't know.
But yeah, basically we won that. Like we played against really good guys. I can't remember. There's one guy name. I think his name was Kyle.
Kyle, do you know where he plays now?
No, I think he's at a D1 now. I gotta find him. Like he was really like one of the best
Bigger
Canadians I ever
guard.
saw. He was a guard, but he was taller. Like he's probably like 6'3" now. He was just
Do you know
one of the
what team?
smoothest player.
Do you remember what team? It was either Canada Elite U play or
He played for UPlay. Canada. He played for
Kyle-
Canada Elite too.
Oh,
Kyle-
God,
yo,
I was about
I
to look for my
swear,
phone, but it's recording.
I know his name. Like I really
Kyle,
gotta
I don't
find
know.
it. But like he
Yeah,
was
that's fine.
really
Awesome.
good.
Yeah, Canada's got some hoopers.
Nah, for sure. I mean, oh yeah, Caleb Houston I played against a lot too. Like we used to have battles.
I have a
Shane,
crazy
you know
story.
Shane Bosco.
No, I don't.
That sounds familiar though.
He's so good. He's
I have
from
a
Ontario.
crazy. So
Mhm.
when I was like,
His dad's like a coach and everything.
I want to say like 12. I was at a tournament at this like really big gym called Hoop Dome. You know Hoop Dome?
Yeah.
And whatever. I was with like my whatever team. Like we were solid. They were definitely doing well in our division. But I watched. But the team playing, it was like a multiple different age. Like you know those tournaments, was like different age groups. So like
yeah.
Yeah.
on the court that we were playing on, like the game before was bounce, which is at the years ago was like the best. It's where like
Oh yeah, Buffalo. Yeah.
where
I
all
remember
those
we were
players
gonna-
like all those players who go to Orangeville Prep,
Yeah.
Jamal Murray, Thon Maker, they all played
Yeah.
for bounce. Like
They
that
had
was
they
their
had
team.
a thing going on where they were gonna call it Buffalo Bounce.
Yeah,
It was gonna be
yeah.
the Buffalo version of.
I
Canadian.
played for Vaughn U play, so for AAU.
I think I've definitely played UPlay teams. I definitely
you plays the UIBL
Vaughn
team with
plays-
like all So so on the court before me was bounce, and on that team was Caleb Houston, who when I was 12 and he was 12, he was like 6'7".
Yeah, he was 6'7".
Wow.
I remember that.
Dunking it, like literally getting the ball, taking. Remember that play versus St. John Fisher's JV team where I literally just got the ball, like took one dribble on that little kid and did a layup.
Mm-hmm.
Literally this, but he was just punching that over and over and over and over again. And I was like, holy shit! Like
It's weird.
He was a child prodigy. He went to Michigan,
Mm-hmm.
and then now he's playing for the Magic.
Yeah.
That's
He
very
went like
tough.
he was drafted like first round, like top 20.
It would be.
very tough.
It's weird though, cause like I've played against so many of these dudes, like Shamar Morrow.
He plays
Last
for
Chance U.
Orangeville Prep, and now he's in Youngstown.
Shamar Morrow. He was
Maybe different.
He was
maybe
American.
different,
Yeah,
dude.
he was
Maybe
American.
it's different, dude.
He was
Maybe
on
it's
Last Chance U for.
Oh no, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, lefty.
Yeah.
Like I remember playing him when he played for like the Oakland Soldiers. Like he was crazy. Like he was one of those people that you saw at 12 years old. You're like, he's going to the league.
No, this dude was Caleb Houston has been going to the league since the day he was born.
That's so tough.
6'7" at 12,
And
and mobile. Not like
it was weird though, cause he
Is that
wasn't
mobile?
the best player on like his teams though. Like you look like, cause I remember like even the Shane Bosco kid, like he was an undersized guard, but he could shoot the hell out of the ball. Like
now Caleb Houston. Can
Now
shoot the
he's-
shit out
he's
of it.
ridiculous.
He has the fucking
but
gun.
that's what he always can do. He always could shoot.
He's a
though.
shoot. I didn't watch that much of the game, but it was.
He could
crazy.
always. He was
They also,
light out.
but also they paired
He was
him
like a
with some
stretch forward.
6'9", 12-year-old.
bro.
He looked like Thon Maker. It was, I literally.
I remember. I know exactly. What you're
See
talking
the same team that I'm talking about?
I know
the
exactly
balance
what
team.
you're talking
I don't know where he is now, but he was also like 6'9" and 12.
But nah, I remember playing King James. That was crazy.
Like LeBron.
I played King James team like 3 times.
I'm sure. I thought you meant like you played LeBron. I'm like
Yeah, nah, he's got about like 30 years on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so yeah, we played King James team, and like those kids were like best teams in Ohio, I guess. But like those were kids that were
Like Gabe
reclassed.
Cups, all those players.
He's too young.
Oh yeah,
like,
he's my age.
Yeah, he's
I'm trying to
2023. But yeah, it was like there was just kids like they were like obviously they were older, like and because they wanted to be the best team, like if it was King James team, and like I remember like being really close with these teams. Like we would be totally undersized, totally like outmatched. Like they would beat every team in tournaments by 40. Like there was a couple of times, there were like 2 or 3 times we ended up coming like it was about 2 points at the buzzer, something like ridiculous to that. It was like I remember that was actually the first time I got dunked on. Like
Who dunked? Do you remember who dunked on you?
dude, if I knew who he was now, he probably won D1 and everything. Like he was like a big like he was probably like 13 years old, 6'8", built like
crazy.
So
Shaq. I remember off a putback just looking back, like going to grab the rebound. Next thing you know, just boom. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
that was
insane.
It was actually crazy. Like it was like obviously.
Yeah. I kind of want to get a little bit more into like the mental health aspect of the podcast. So you talked a little bit about that, but just talk about a little bit of like how you were able to bounce, because obviously now you're in a position where you were able to, you made it through a whole year of college basketball after of 2 years of like struggling, and then like just like recognizing that you were struggling and deciding to like fight it, so you can be in this position now where you had a full year.
Where I'm still struggling, but I'm like,
but you're fighting it,
because
and you're here. You had a very, very good end to the season where you played a very solid role. You started a bunch of games. Like you started off with your first year.
I had a concussion too.
And you had a concussion. You were injured with me. I remember you were injured with me.
I wasn't even cleared.
And then
you
ended up starting in big conference wins versus Hartwick, versus Sage, Cuca. Like you had some very, very big games. So what did you, for the people who are listening that were going through stuff, struggling, have been struggling, and still struggling, how do you like take that and like maybe use it as motivation, or like what strategies do you use to like keep battling every single day?
I feel like the first step is like get help. Like,
did you speak to a therapist?
Oh yeah.
Me too. I have an appointment today. Shout out to people think like, oh, you speak to a therapist, like you're weak. Absolutely. Like I think speaking to a therapist is so like good, just because especially like you have so much stuff that you want to tell people, but I feel like some worry, at least for me, is like if I tell somebody like what if like they have ammunition, and maybe that's not a good way to think, but like it's so very comforting speaking to somebody who has absolutely no relation with anybody that you know.
Or I'll be thinking like this person doesn't care, why am I telling them type thing.
You think do you have a good relationship with your therapist? 'Cause I feel like it's her job to like pretend like she cares.
Yeah. Like it's definitely
but like I definitely feel like you care.
It's a feel good, like it's like
I feel like she's excited to see me every time hop on that Zoom call.
Like it's like a weird, like it's a motherly warm feeling. It's like I feel safe.
But I feel like it's like, but it's just detached. I've also talked about how I struggle with about anxiety and a bunch of stuff on the show as well, and like I feel like sometimes you don't want to put that, like you don't, like I don't want my parents to worry about me.
Right.
So I don't care if there's a random person worries about me, but I mean not that there's much to worry about, but like you know
I feel like but definitely just taking that step. Like now, like as like I'm progressing and learning about myself. Like obviously I'm not perfect, and I still have days where like I'm like, damn, like I can't even leave bed. Like I just start crying, like just don't understand it. But it's just like just knowing that's like you're trying is like it's like effort, like it's practice. Like you need to do anything, you gotta practice to get better. So I feel like just reaching out, making that first step is what's so important. And it's like you gotta really be consistent with yourself. Like you have to want to get better, like in anything you want to do. 100%. Like I remember there's times like I didn't really want to meet with my therapist and stuff, and like I needed to understand like this is what helps. Like it's obviously like it's a science. Like so like anybody out there, like my number one suggestion is like get help. There's nothing wrong with getting help.
There's nothing wrong with getting help.
And I guarantee, like, I feel like all of us have something wrong with
everybody
us.
Everybody has stuff you can't keep bottled up forever.
Can't. Like, even with, like, genetics and stuff, like, the way genetics are, like, you can carry on a anxiety or depression trait. Like, it's crazy. So, like, being, like, cognizant of that, like, you should feel okay with it. Like, there's nothing wrong with you for reaching out to get help, and that's like what
I think you're strong for reaching out, for getting help. 100%. you're strong for just
And,
looking
like,
to get better.
And that's what I love like about my mom. Like my mom is like one of the most supportive people ever. And like it might help that she's in that field. Like she's a psychiatric MP or whatever. So like she obviously understands like what's going on. But just like knowing that like you're trying, like that's like the first step. Like that's the key to getting better. And like obviously like the road's gonna take a long time. Like there's days you're gonna feel great and there's days you're gonna feel shitty. And I went through like a lot of them. I still do. Like practices, there'd be days when I'd be like, man,
I know those ones.
man. Like here we go again. But it's just kind of like, just go do it.
Something actually interesting
Just Nike, just do it.
that we haven't addressed. So, how did that kind of those days where you this year did just like, because Chris, we've talked about how like some days this year I probably like a little bit of anxiety, which is I feel like I don't know if that's the first time you've ever dealt with that, but it's definitely possible. So how is that? How are you feeling those moments? What did you keep doing to like keep showing up every day? Because to give you one credit, you did show up every single day this year.
He was there.
Well, I wouldn't
You
be
were
there.
definitely there.
Definitely wouldn't.
I was definitely there too, and we were there
Well, there
together.
would be some days I'd be like, yo, he could stay home. We'll be all right.
I don't know, bro. Like you both have therapists. I don't have a therapist.
But is this the first time you've ever dealt with any sort of like mental health that's kind of throwing for game, a little bit of anxiety throughout this season? Just with like all the pressure, with all the intensity.
Okay, so there's like moments that like I pop in my head where I'm like the most stress I've ever had. This is definitely up there. But on top of that, like hosting a 10,000 person party in my backyard with 3 days notice, not telling my parents that was happening.
10,000?
Not 10,000, it's probably more.
But still, like.
Sorry, I made $10,000. There's 2,000 people there, but yeah, retarded.
Ah.
It was retarded. It was
Project
insane.
X.
But well, yeah, basically. So, but I'm not gonna go into that story right now.
Yeah.
But
That could have
yeah.
its own episode.
Yeah, but like that, it's different kinds of stresses though. Like this was just the consistency of knowing that no matter how I feel, you have to show up and perform the exact same
And
way.
Some days you're gonna get yelled at. Some days you're gonna fuck up, and thank God it goes under the radar. And you're not, but like whatever. Every day you're gonna come, and every day you're gonna fuck up. And every day you're gonna learn.
But in a weird way, it was kind of like a relief point where like when you press on it enough, where it's like after it's over, you're kind of like glad that you
like,
did it.
damn, I did it. It was
Yeah.
Honestly,
hard.
also,
And then the rest of your day is fine because
Yeah.
nothing's
Yeah.
gonna compare with that much stress.
also like if you get like yelled at, like let's say you're scared like the whole year, like, and I've had open conversations about this with coach. Sometimes I felt like I was playing scared to get yelled at, but
Oh,
once you get
100%.
yelled at,
you're at the rock bottom.
but it's kind of like real. It's kind of like, okay, well now I just got fucking yelled at. I got 3 new assholes. So now got chewed out. So now that's what I was scared of, and it just happened. So now it's like, now what? And it's kind of like a little bit of a relieving feeling.
Kind of, yeah. But then, like, if it happens the first time and it happens the second time, and then it's just like
There are
it
days-
just keeps going. You're like,
For you, for me,
holy shit.
There are definitely days for me where it did not stop at 1
Yeah, for real.
or 2 or 3.
So like,
No, you
sometimes
actually
it's
got it
relief.
really bad.
I got chewed out a healthy amount of times.
You're like, but I feel like you need to get chewed out a little
Sometimes.
bit.
He told him that though.
No, I had a full conversation with coach because I felt like my thing was like I felt like I was playing scared to fuck up, and so it doesn't matter how much attention I was paying on the sideline. When I come in and I'm playing scared to fuck up, I'm gonna fuck up, right? So it got to a point like one day I was just like I had to like realize like I would rather go and have an uncomfortable conversation with coach than go to another practice having so much anxiety.
I
Right?
wish I did that honestly, because
So,
like
yeah,
there would
so-
be times where I play like I was scared.
Yeah,
as
and I
shit,
honestly,
too.
I talked to coach, and I literally told him like, Coach, like, I want to talk to you about something. I just kind of explained how I was feeling, and he was extremely receptive, and I'm very thankful
Right.
that he was just like receptive to what I was saying. And I've noticed that the practices, this was very late in the year. It was probably like 3 weeks left, 4 weeks left. It was like probably a week before the development game, but like that, like last part of the season, I felt the most confident going to practice. And even if not, I even told him like even if nothing changed, like just the fact that I was able to go to him and he was like receptive to how I was feeling and just acknowledged that how I was feeling. We kind of just had a conversation, and that he was confident in me, and and he didn't want me to play scared. Just had put even more confidence in me. That even like, and I definitely still got yelled at after that, which I definitely fucked up and definitely deserved to get yelled at.
Yeah.
But it definitely was just a different type of feeling of confidence.
Yeah, I did the same thing just a little earlier than you, and that sort of saved me from some of that.
I'm not gonna lie, I did it way earlier than both of you.
Really?
Yeah, like during the summer, I came and told him like how I was really feeling. Like it was really hard for me because like I feel like looking in at me, like everybody looks at me to be like a energy kind of person, like just like happy, kind of like just unfazed kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
And like honestly, that's like really far from the truth. And so like going to him, like Shout out to Coach Hack. Like,
Shout out to Coach Hack. One thing about Coach Hack, very receptive to.
understanding.
He's a very understanding individual.
Like going him, telling him that like in there, I probably felt like I wanted to cry, but like after, I felt like such a weight was like
100%,
lifted off my
100%.
I
shoulders.
feel that's every conversation you have with Coach. Is end up just a huge.
You
weight
feel
off
way
your
better
shoulders. I
after.
feel like that should definitely be something we dive into, where it's like
when we have him on the episode, when we have him on the podcast.
I was just gonna say in general, if you're feeling stress right now as like a high school kid or whatever is causing you stress, it's usually
you have to, and you ought to address it too.
It's just
That's what
you
I'm
in your
saying.
own head.
It's usually
yeah.
because you're avoiding an uncomfortable conversation.
Going
It's
back to the
usually
therapist thing.
situation.
It's like the best way to relieve what's stressing you is to speak about it. We either address the person or just verbalize it into like get it out of your head,
And
off
make it
your back,
physical.
and out to the world. And like,
Yeah, I feel like you gotta learn to be comfortable. Like,
yeah,
be uncomfortable to become
100%, 100%. The best things in life come from uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah, uncomfortable situations.
Uncomfortable situations,
Yeah,
situations.
exactly.
But yeah.
But nah, like just being able to talk to him, that shit, it made
So,
me feel so much better.
What's a strategy that you could maybe tell the audience, like on a bad day, like where you just we got practice at 4 to 6. We just lost 2 days ago. We had an off day yesterday on a Sunday. Now it's Monday.
And you know where this
And
practice
you know where
is
this
gonna
practice
look
is going to go. What's something that you kind of like what's something that helps you get out of bed, something that helps you just keep moving forward?
Like honestly, just looking at it as you just kind of gotta like push. I've learned that you gotta push certain things to the side. Like a loss, it's like, all right, like yeah, I hate losing. Like it's the worst thing in the fucking world, but like it happens. Like what can you learn from this? Like kind of thing. So like losing, that kind of made me feel like, okay, now I gotta work harder. And like coming to practice like every day, like that was really hard for me. Like obviously the past 2 years not going every day.
Yeah.
Like, it's messed with me. But like just knowing that like this is who I am, like this is what I've done my whole life. Like I can't allow how I'm feeling to impact my future. Like I remember there was points in time like I'd be so anxious, like even parts of the season where I'd be like, yo, I forgot how to shoot the ball.
Literally.
Like, literally like what am I doing? Like
I quit basketball my sophomore year because I was on a team and I just felt like the environment, like anything that it was kind of like anything I did, I felt like I would messing up and I would just be getting yelled at for the most literally nothing. Like someone else would mess up and I would get yelled at. One time I got yelled at by my coach for someone missed a wide open three. I said, "Good shot." Like next one's going in, trying to be a good teammate. And he goes, like, "That was not a good shot." Like it was like I couldn't do anything
Nah, I
right.
definitely know
And
that
being in
feeling.
that like situation where you just can't do anything right, it's so like uncomfortable. I just decided like I quit the AAU team that I was on, the travel team I was on. And I still played for my high school, but just like every day I just felt like so much anxiety that I got to a point where I decided to step away because like that's just the worst feeling in the entire world.
I feel like it was good, like, because growing up, like, playing AAU, like, under a former Division I player, like, he knew what it took. So, like, he was the toughest on us. Like, especially, he was really tough on me and his son. Like, he saw potential, like, and his son got 100 times worse than me. But just seeing, like, he was always on our asses. From our young age, like, we'd be 5th grade. What the fuck are you doing? Like, da da da. Like, you, like, and it was just, like, demanded, like, that we were just, had to be good, or we knew that we were going to get barked at. And there would be, like, 3-4 different coaches barking at us. Like, they were aggressive. Like, you'd be really scared. But I feel like you just go to a certain point and you're just like, I'm not going to listen to what this dude says. I'm just going to play basketball.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like the most growth just came from, like, you just keep going, literally.
Like mental health in sports, and like I think especially in sports, mental health and like confidence and like just believing in your ability is the most important thing. Like somebody who is not as skilled but just believes in what they can do 100% will be so much
helps
better.
so much.
Because I've been that kid who has been talented, has worked extremely hard, and just suffered from just like and just didn't believe in myself, whether it was
I still suffer like confidence to
whether
this
it
day,
was
like,
whether it was just internally or it was in the environment I was in externally, and I just couldn't perform to nearly as good as I've been. But I've also been in positions, for example, like this summer when I played in Israel, where I was probably one of the least I was good at team. I was definitely one of the worst players, but I was just very, very confident in myself because I knew how hard I was working. I was in kind of an environment where I was confident in myself, and I was playing with a lot of really, really good dudes who helped instill confidence in me, and I was playing way above my
Pay grade.
So Princeton, number 24, Blake Peters, I gave him 11-7 in like the semifinal game or whatever, and he's playing for Princeton. And he hit like 5 threes. Like I was playing just because I believed in myself and I was just confident in what I was doing, and I just didn't care. And my coach was also barking at me then too, but I just was more of like I didn't care what he was saying. Like I'm just gonna go and do me, and I'm gonna play basketball the right way and play for myself.
It's not like you're saying like fuck the team.
No,
kind
no,
of thing.
100%.
It's just like, all right, I'm focused on what I'm doing, kind of thing. I'm not gonna let anybody throw me off my track.
Yeah, exactly.
And so like that was like really good for me. Like, and also I feel like it helps just to like always have that one person like that you can go to when times do get tough. Like for me, that was my trainer, my basketball trainer at the time, Quinn Redfern. Like he still trains people to this day. Kobe, Demo, they all train with him. Like everybody, basically.
Everybody in Buffalo.
If you're in Western New York, like even kids come from Rochester, Q used to come work out with him.
Shout out, coach. What's his name?
Quinn Redford, man. He's the
Shout
GOAT.
out.
Like I've known him since I was probably like 11 years old. I think I'm the first person to work out with him. Happened after a Madai basketball camp, really. This is where I
You went
met
to the
him.
Madai basketball camp?
Oh, yeah. I went
That's
to
full
Madai
circle.
basketball
That's a
camps,
full
like,
circle moment.
every year. Like it was just like a thing to do, like kids, like inner city kids, like we all, like all our friends would go to it and stuff. Like I remember actually being on like front page of the Buffalo News, like an action shot of me dribbling up the
That's
court.
hilarious.
And so
Very
it's
full
weird,
circle.
like it's weird how you that full circle, like weird how you end up. Like I was literally that kid dribbling, now I'm doing it for him for real. So like just having that person like just be there for you and instill that confidence, like having someone that believes in you. Like he believed in me more than I believed in myself, and that just allowed me to grow because I was like that. He made me want to work. Like I came to the gym. He knew like he knew my flaws. Like he knew what was going on. Like if anything was wrong, like he talked to me. Like he always reminded me, like just keep God first. Like that's probably like that's another thing. Like
Religion?
have a not even religion, just have a faith.
Believe. You gotta believe it.
Have
Whether you
faith.
believe,
Have
whether you
faith.
believe in a higher power, whether you believe in yourself, you gotta believe in something.
Gotta have faith, and I feel like that's kind of where like a lot of my
Chris
problems
believes in the
went to.
pyramids were made by aliens, but
That's not what I
that's what
believe,
keeps
but
him going.
moving on,
That's what
moving
keeps
on.
him going, and then that's what keeps you going.
Yeah, like it's just having a faith in something. Like even like Harry Potter, like just living your own Harry Potter
Yeah,
world.
believe, bro. That's also one of the most
Love Harry
powerful things in the
Potter, bro,
world.
like-
That's one of the most powerful. Is that like something that was like comforting for you? When I was little and
That
I was
was
going through
so
saying anxiety
comforting for
shoot,
me.
this shit, and I was watching fucking Lego on TV, and I would pretend I was like, that's how what gave me comfort.
Bro,
when I was 11 years old.
I read every Harry Potter book. I thought I was a wizard, bro. Like, saying, still
Dude,
do.
like when I was little and I was like whatever, and I was going through whatever I was going through, I would just come home after a fucking bad day of basketball and just go and build Lego in my room, and I would just bring me
What
back.
age was this?
Older than I should have. Older than I'm proud of. Older than I'm proud of.
Okay.
But like I still have that in my room. And some days if I'm having a bad day, I'll still go and build a sick ass fucking ship. And bro, you just gotta
have
do it. You
outlets,
gotta have
yeah.
an outlet. Otherwise, you just keep all that shit in.
Yeah, but like also I think like it's important like make sure like it's a healthy outlet. Like,
100%.
a lot of times people go to like certain things like
Drugs, alcohol.
yeah, even something simple as like video games. Like just don't be lazy. Like don't waste your time playing. Video
Jovel's not
games.
gonna like that one.
I'm not gonna lie. I think.
Man, I still struggle to this day. I'm a hardcore gamer. Like I game like every day.
I think there's definitely a balance. I feel like.
You have to have balance. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Like, you
'Cause I
have
feel
to
like
have
I mean
balance.
there are definitely this year within the last 4 or 5 months of the season where we just had to practice and I had to shot the. I was 0 for 5, fucked up. Fucking phase 1 3 times, threw 4 turnovers, and then I'm like, fuck. Now, like, I was in a bad mood, and I hop on the game and I play with my friends, who from home, who have
Yeah.
always been there through my whole journey, and just like that, just kind of brought me back to a baseline of, okay, now I'm ready to attack tomorrow with the same, and not compound bad days, because that's number one thing. You gotta try your best not to compound bad days. You're allowed to have bad days, but when you turn one bad day into 2, you turn to 4 into 6. That's when it becomes an issue. Yeah. So just recognize it and reevaluate and
Fix it.
have an outlet. Yeah.
No, literally.
You got anything, Chris?
I mean, I have a question for him to finish off with, but if you want to ask him the final question too, it's kind of like a tie-in thing. Like, if his biggest regret or piece of advice, and I have another one.
I was gonna say if you have something else, ask that first, and then we'll go
Okay.
into that.
I was gonna say because we did the new episode of YouTube that's gonna come out soon here. I was gonna say, what do you think some of the biggest mistakes that a bunch of young hoopers are making that are stunting their growth?
For an example, we talked about how like if you're in the gym for 9 hours a day, doesn't mean you're getting better. You're better off being in the gym for 1 hour, 2 hours, going 100%, than being in the gym dicking around.
See, like
That's like a myth. For
look,
example.
I agree with that to like a statement. Like obviously, when you're in the gym, you want to get your work But I feel like just being around the game is gonna help your game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Being around people that know the game is going to help your game.
Yeah.
Like I remember just playing backyard, because I was always that friend. Like everybody would come to my house. Like I have a big house, like basketball court, pool. So we was just kind of like everybody come to my house. We'd spend all day just outside playing basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's where my biggest growth was because and to this day I feel like that's where I regret not playing more. Like just getting out there and just playing. Like just having fun with it. Like you
100%.
can't look at it as a chore or a job.
Playing is like that's why the development thing's so amazing. Like you had an unbelievable development game with Robert Wesley, and then after that, you immediately were able to impact the varsity team just because you had that confidence, you had that game reps to help set you up. Like, do you think that's one of the reasons why you were able to help and like big time contribute?
Yeah, and but to be honest, I feel like this season, that wasn't really. I didn't reach my full potential at all. I still feel like obviously the mental health thing, I'm trying to get better, and that obviously wasn't the best version of me at all. Yeah, I had a decent season. I had a 2.0 assist to turnover ratio, but I was just out there. I was definitely playing not to make mistakes, and which is another thing can't do. Can't be afraid to get yelled at. Can't be. But
also,
problem.
it's those conversations are important. You
Right.
got to at the end of the day set yourself up to play your best. All coach wants is for you to play your best.
Yeah, and obviously coach knew what I was capable of because he's seen me play. He knows
That's why you're here.
everybody.
That's why all of us are here.
So then it was just kind of you just got to do things. You just got to go out and do it.
Do you say the biggest mistake young hoopers are making is not spending enough time around the game?
Yeah, just being around the game. Don't let other things that don't matter impact your life. I remember in middle school, a lot of my friends would just all hang out and just want to be around girls and stuff. But I was a shy kid. I get girls, but I was shy at first.
Don't worry. If you guys were wondering, don't worry.
He definitely
does get girls.
I do not. Yeah. But so it was just they would be focused on other things and video games and
Shit that doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying. I wish I had the ambition and drive I did as a younger kid. Because you as a kid you think high as possible.
Mm-hmm.
You're I'm going to the league.
100%.
Right. So I would always have that motivation. It's never too late. I would always just grind. I would say, be around the game, but just don't get focused with other things. But you gotta have balance too. There's obviously times where I've worked out 3 times a day, and I've obviously gotten burned out, and I've gotten to the point where I was fuck, I hate this shit. Tired. This is a job. But you can't ever let it feel that way. It's always gonna be a game.
100%. Well, that kind of answers the last question as well. It's just
his biggest
your
piece
biggest
of advice.
piece of advice or her regret is just. But if you have something else to add,
I would say my biggest advice to young hoopers out there is I would say my biggest advice is don't listen to anybody else. Obviously listen to those who are important, but don't let the opinions of people that don't matter impact your life. Obviously the people who are older, coaches and stuff, they want to see the best in you. So you should obviously listen and take what they're saying and do good by it. But don't care what other people think. Don't care what other people think you do or good at. At the end of the day, we're all people. We all mess up. Just go out, run your race, literally.
100%.
Run your race.
100%. And keep the main thing the main thing.
That's what I'm saying.
That's it. Episode.
No side things.
I mean, you can have a side thing here and there.
Yeah.
No side things.
Those side things.
Episode 19. I think it's 19 now. 19 once being filmed. I don't know what order this is going to come out in. But yeah, thank you for coming on my way.
Thanks for having me.
Pretty girl